Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about how to take any kind of tarp you may have and turn it into a tent. And this is going to be a really good setup for really open areas, places like fields. This method works great. But we're going to show you how to do that just by using some old tent poles from a Ozark Trail tent. You may have one sitting in your garage somewhere, but you just need two of them for the setup I'm going to show you today. If you've got more than two tent poles, you can do different types of setups depending on the size of your tarp and everything. But I'm going to go ahead, I'll put this thing together and I'll show you guys how I go about setting this up. Just keep watching. Now I'm going to kind of make an X pattern whenever I set this up. So what I like to do is I like to take one of my poles and just kind of measure out where I'm going to put it. It's going to be about right here. So I'm going to poke some holes into the ground on that end and on this end as well. Once I got it all completely measured out to where I want it. But we're going to do that with both pieces of the pole here. So what I like to do before I dig my holes, I like to come up about 1.5 feet or up to about right here on my poles on both sides of them. So I'll dig a hole here and I'll do the same thing at the other end and on both poles. That'll give it plenty of flexibility. I'm just using a tent stake to hammer these in because this is a really rocky ground that you're going to want to remember that for these rocky areas. It's going to be a little bit harder to do this kind of a setup. If you got soft ground, it'll go in pretty much just by pushing it in. But I just got my stakes out here, at least one of them. And whenever you poke these holes into the ground, you can hammer it in with a rock. Here, I'm going to use the back of my axe. Good old trusty axe. And I'm just going to kind of hammer them in at an angle. That way the tent poles will go in at an angle as well, and it'll be a lot more secure like that. You don't want to get too much of an angle, otherwise it'll just kick up dirt. Okay, as you can see, we got kind of a dome here. Once we got that done, I just like to take a piece of cordage and just tie it together. Just keeps it from moving around so much. There we go. Now we're ready to put our tarp on. Now we're pretty much ready just to stake it down. You can see I do have a small hole on that tarp. See how much room I got. Plenty of room. I'll show you a further away view of it here in a second. But you can see right there I've got like a little spot to hang my flashlight. That works pretty well. That's it, guys. That's pretty much it for the tarp tent. It's a pretty easy way to carry a shelter that's not only going to be good in the woods, but it's also going to be good in fields and things as well. You can pretty much use this setup anywhere you want to. It's going to be a little bit tougher to do whenever you got rocky terrain, but just remember how I told you to set up the stakes and the holes and everything for your poles. But very, very cool setup, guys. Something that you can do if you want to open your door here. You can just take a stick just like this. Take one of your tie outs. Get out of the way of it. Just put it on there. Just like that, you've got a nice open shelter with plenty of space. If you really wanted to, you could fit 2 or 3 people in there. But I mean, you really can't beat this setup, guys. But if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe, and as always, keep your blade sharp, your mind sharper. See you next time. Thanks for watching.